Way back in the 2000s, I was in this quartet called Real Time, and we would finish a performance and walk out into the lobby to sell stacks of CDs, like stacks of them. Half of our income or more at a big show could come from those physical sales. People flooding into the lobby were excited. They just got done standing up and cheering for us, and they wanted a tangible way to take that feeling and that memory home with them. Unfortunately, that world and those economics have been dead for a decade. Today, running a choir or singing group means navigating a market where recorded music is fundamentally and maybe permanently devalued. Streaming, thank you Spotify, taught listeners that music should be instant, unlimited, and nearly free. If you've been around, you know the shift was devastating to so many groups. As a direct revenue stream, streaming is usually terrible for everyone. Peter Frampton, for example, quite famously reported that he made just $1,700 for 55 million streams. That means the rest of us are making zero, or a rounding error off of zero. But this devastation has forced a big realization. Recordings and merchandise were never just retail products. Today, they are much more often strategic tools and still very powerful. So let's break down the psychology of why people still buy and how you can make this strategy work for you. Welcome to the Choir Genius channel. I'm Tom Metzger. In this series, we've been breaking down how choirs and choruses actually make money. Merchandise is one of those areas where organizations instinctively go first, but often get stuck. They ask, can we make money selling t-shirts? So yes, this video is about selling products, but it's more about leveraging psychology. And if you want the full deep dive, including detailed breakdowns, examples, actual numbers, we've got a full-length article on choirgenius.com, link in the description. So here we go. Most choir organizations think about merchandise backwards. The key idea is that people buy for emotional reasons and not for utility. Nobody desperately needs another hoodie. The better question, which taps into the true driver of sales, is, can merchandise strengthen the emotional connection to my group? The strongest choirs and choruses are not merely music organizations, they are identity organizations. They mean something to people. Merchandise is part of that crucial ecosystem, helping you to sell belonging, not just clothes. So let's walk through the strategic categories that actually matter. So first, we have the psychology of purchase. When someone buys a piece of merchandise, here is what they're actually acquiring. First, a memory of emotion. A tangible artifact to preserve the feeling experienced during a powerful performance. 2, a symbol of belonging, a shared marker of group identity that they are part of a tribe. 3, proof of support, an immediate actionable way to support the group financially and to show that you did that. This psychological connection is the engine that must drive every purchasing decision your audience makes. Now before we go any further, let's talk. Write a comment down below about the last piece of choir merchandise you bought and why you bought it. Go ahead and do it, I'll wait. Now, category 2, recordings as assets. For a long time, we viewed the choir recording as a product with a price tag. Now that the price tag is zero, or negative if you take the recording cost into it and the opportunity cost, you have to think of it differently, as an asset that multiplies the effectiveness of the entire organization. If your recording fails to turn a direct profit, that doesn't really mean the project failed. A truly great recording can strategically serve multiple purposes. First of all, donor confidence and fundraising. It showcases artistic seriousness, impact, strengthening confidence in existing donors and helping you write grant applications. 2, recruitment and visibility. It serves as a powerful recruitment tool, giving prospective singers a clear understanding of what the group is like. 3, engagement and ticket sales. Recordings drive future ticket sales by acting as a high-quality preview and creating emotional attachment post-concert. 4, legacy preservation. They capture key moments in the ensemble's history. 5, intense practice. If you've ever been in the studio, you know that high pressure will force you and all your singers to be at their best. It's a massive learning opportunity, especially if you can afford to take your time and keep recording until that recording is everything that you wanted. Now, if you're getting any value from this, you're probably thinking about how to build something more sustainable for your choir. That's exactly what we focus on at Choir Genius. So if this is useful, like the video, share it with someone on your team or your board, and subscribe to the channel. We're breaking down every major revenue stream choirs actually use, and you don't want to miss an episode. Now back to the video. So far we've talked about recordings, but the same theories apply more broadly. To truly unlock the potential of merchandise, we have to look past the fabric and see the profound emotional threads that bind an audience to a choir. First, think about that electric, fleeting moment after a standing ovation. That's when the barrier between you and the listener just evaporates. In that state, they aren't shopping for a product. They really want to anchor that transcendent feeling before it drifts away. When you're at the lobby table, you aren't just doing retail. You're providing a tangible souvenir of a soul-stirring experience. A simple memento offered in the warmth of that afterglow will always carry more weight than a masterpiece they find on a cold digital storefront 3 weeks later. Second, it's easy to forget that your singers are your most devoted tribe. For them, a section hoodie or a limited run tour jacket isn't just apparel, it's a badge of shared struggle, harmony, and family. When a singer puts on those colors, they're signaling to the world and reinforcing to themselves that they belong to something bigger than their individual voice. Prioritize this identity, and you turn your members into walking testaments to your community's strength. My own group, Van City Harmony, just finished our big June show, and everyone in the group got a concert t-shirt for free, and it's my new favorite t-shirt. So even I'm not immune. When moving from concept to execution, choir leaders face a critical strategic choice: traditional inventory production versus print on demand. When choosing an operational model for merchandise, you are effectively balancing profit potential against operational risk. Traditional inventory offers the benefit of higher profit margins and more favorable per unit pricing. However, these gains come with significant drawbacks, including high upfront cash requirements and the constant risk of being left with unsold stock, often resulting in boxes in garages. My gosh, do I ever have boxes of CDs in garages. Print on demand, on the other hand, is an excellent alternative for those prioritizing stability, as it features virtually zero inventory risk and a simple setup, making it ideal for testing demand, especially for testing demand. The trade-off is that margins are often a lot lower, and shipping times are slower compared to traditional stock. For the vast majority of community and nonprofit choirs, risk avoidance is more important than margin maximization. So yeah, for the vast majority of community and nonprofit choirs, avoiding risk is actually more important than maximizing your margin. The zero-risk, repeatable nature of print on demand makes it the better system for sustainability for most groups. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Here's where we put merchandise and recordings on the overall revenue stream leaderboard. First of all, stability. It improves with planned, repeatable sales events based on emotional timing. That's a 3 out of 5. Scalability, 4 out of 5. It's easily scaled using print on demand and limited primarily by your audience size. Cost, it's 3 out of 5. High if using traditional inventory, low and zero risk with print on demand. So we kind of averaged it out at a 3 out of 5. Control, 5 out of 5. You have full control over design, timing, and pricing. So our average score for merchandise and recordings is 3.75 out of 5. Merchandise is a flexible and powerful strategic tool, but only when it's treated as a vital community infrastructure, not just a transactional business. There is no perfect product, but there is a better way to approach it. Stop asking, what kind of t-shirt should we sell to make the most profit? And start asking, how can this product strengthen our singer's sense of belonging and our audience's emotional connection? That shift is where most of the upside is, and it's available to almost any group. There's one more video left in this series on how choirs make money, and that's going to be about endowments. And so this is advanced stuff. If you don't want to miss that, then make sure you subscribe. Thanks for listening to the end. Have a great day.